All right, Shalom. First and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone and taught me his truth, and a sincere Shalom to elect out there teaching his truth in all honesty and sincerity in these last days. Again, the brother Yasharan, and this is a walk and talk. I got the backpack on, walking up this hill. Okay, and you brothers out there, it's good to walk on a slight incline. I guess it really drains the sugar out of your calves. Okay, just a little tidbit for y'all. But anyways, this walk and talk is about the lake of fire and Babylon. Okay, because you have these I mean, I'm not trying to call them too many names, but these guys that are spiritually slow. Actually, I'm not even going to say that they're spiritually slow, because Deacon Hakah is actually pretty smart. Okay, he's smart in the deceitful way. Okay, because he knows what he's doing is messed up, man. Okay, he's just really deceitful, very clever in that aspect. Okay, and then you have he's the leader of the Genesis group, which they spun off of Sakari. Okay, and him and Hassad made up that nonsense doctrine. Okay, about how America's not the lake of fire. Really, the reason they're doing it is because they're trying to stand out and be different. Okay, trying to stand out and be different, man, because they gotta separate themselves. Okay, they gotta separate themselves from the Sakari, because it's got such a bad image right now because of the things that are being exposed as far as Al-Azhar. Okay, so they got to find a way to make themselves different from the Sakari. Okay, and they're given to change, man, because all throughout the years, even when they were in the Sakari, they kept changing their doctrine. Constantly changing their doctrine, man. So these guys, they go and they make a video about this, and Hakah, Deacon Hakah, is sitting there wearing a baseball cap. All right, which they don't ever get into what that goes into. This goes back to the Greek gods. Really, it's a slave cap. Okay, and he's sitting there pulling out this sword, looking like a what does Apostle Bar call him? A showman. Okay, just looking silly, man. You guys really make the and then they say that we're uptight about things and we're always hating, but y'all just make the ministry look corny and stupid, man. Just corny and worldly. Okay, the Most High ain't dealing with no worldly ass people, man. Okay, this American culture, man. Y'all are way too into that shit, all the rap and all that. And then every video, this guy's got to have a baseball cap on or a hat on. Every single video, man, you got your head covered. Like, do you sleep with them shits on? It just looks silly. You guys can't hit record, and for a half hour or whatever, you can't take a fucking cap off. And they wear these caps, these baseball caps, and these hats in every single video, man. Okay, of course, I'm leaving it open that it could be a margin of error there. And for the most part, they wear these caps in every single video, man. Gimmicks. Nonsense. Right? So they got to go and they got to create nonsense out of thin air. And even the people in your chat were coming against it over how silly it sounds, man. All of a sudden, right? It's legit about to be WW3 out here. In fact, it was trending today on Twitter or X. It was trending worldwide. World War III, the hashtag. Right? Here it is. It's trending. But yet you've come up with this brand new doctrine about what the lake of fire is. And then it doesn't involve Babylon. Absolutely ridiculous, man. You know? And then Hassad just agrees with them. Because, I mean, he's just a yes man. Okay? He's just a yes man. That's all he is. And I'll give him credit. He really don't wear them caps like that. Probably because I mean, I'll give the brother credit. He's got a nice head of hair on him. But let that hairline start to recede, and he'll be wearing them caps just like Haka. Okay. But anyways, ran it too long. I'm gonna slow down my walk and read this. Isaiah 13:6. How will ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand? It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of the Lord cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. Okay, meaning what? Empty. And how is it going to do that? Through those ICBMs. Okay. Now you're going to tell me that a giant nation like this, that's covered from sea to shining sea, okay, and fire, absolute intense fire, is not a lake of fire, okay? And he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. This is going to be the greatest destruction of all. This is the second death, what is about to happen. But that doesn't have nothing to do with the lake of fire, right? For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. So think about this extreme destruction, okay? It's going to block out light from outer space from coming in. That's how thick those clouds are going to be with that pitch and that burning. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil and the wicked for their iniquity. Okay, through the lake of fire, correct? And the scripture even says that hell is going to be cast into that lake of fire. Okay? Hell is going to be cast in there. Is this place not known as hell? Right? This is the place of drawing water, man. Okay? And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. Actually, let me scroll down to verse 17. Behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Okay? And the Medes right now are where the Russians are. And they're not going to care about money. If you notice, uh, Trump is starting to is trying to get Russia um, back into the SWIFT system, right? And he keeps threatening more and more sanctions if they don't stop this war with Ukraine. Okay, so they're not gonna regard that easy money. Okay, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it, because there's a different purpose as to why they're doing this war, right? And there's going to be a different purpose as to why they're going to destroy Babylon the Great. Their bows also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Okay, they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. So children are going to be exterminated in this. Their eyes shall not spare children. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now keep that in mind, okay? Because Babylon is constantly compared with being what? Akin to Sodom and Gomorrah, receiving the same punishment. And Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire, just like Babylon is going to be destroyed by fire, man. Okay? It's going to be destroyed by fire. A giant lake of fire. Okay? Because the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah is always compared with what's coming to Babylon, man. So are you saying that there's two separate destructions? That's basically what you're saying. Okay? If you say that Babylon the Great is not a part of the lake of fire. Okay? Verse 20, it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Why? Because that fire is going to keep burning for multiple generations. A lake of fire, right? Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Okay? A satyr is basically like a devilish being. Okay? So let's get uh, Jeremiah. Oh, hey, it says that in Isaiah 54 that what the Lord have created the waster to destroy, and it has a purpose of that work, right? What was that work? To destroy this place, man. Okay, to fully destroy this place. You're gonna tell me that you're gonna sit there and tell me and tell everybody else that thousands of square miles of fire is not a lake of fire? Okay, what other prophecy points to the lake to anything else being a part of that lake of fire? Because really, the only other thing that you could possibly say is, or that you could tie to it, is hell. Are you guys teaching the hell doctrine? Okay, and another thing that you could make up is that the whole world's going to be destroyed by fire, and that's not true. That's not scriptural. Okay, so it would have to be Babylon. Now there's going to be other places that get hit with fire, you know, but the center of that destruction is going to be Babylon the Great, right? I'm just skimming. Okay, Jeremiah 50:39. Therefore, the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the islands shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever. Neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Okay, why? Because it's going to be completely destroyed with fire. Okay, it's going to be completely destroyed with fire. As Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof. Okay, so there it is. There's the tie-in again, right? Between Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. I believe there's also a scripture in Matthew that says that. Okay, it should be more tolerable in Sodom and Gomorrah than for that city, and Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed. Okay, so how much greater is that destruction going to be? So here it is. You guys been in the truth this long, and you're just looking for a way to be different, really, to reinvent the wheel. Okay, one Westers. Well, hey, that's the one thing that they got right. I'm not saying that's the only thing that they got right. I should reword that. There's one thing that they got right. Okay? So shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. And the scriptures talk about how Babylon's going to be desolate. What's the only thing that can make an area desolate? A big ass fire, man. Okay? Let's get Revelation 18. Well, the scriptures say that even with our eyes shall we see the reward of the wicked, and that's when we're going to be in them chariots. Okay, seeing the reward, and that reward is going to be that great fire, man. I mean, come on. Revelation 18:9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man shall buy their merchandise anymore. Okay, so that judgment is going to come in 1 hour. Okay, what's going to destroy a giant nation like this in 1 hour? A nuclear annihilation, a lake of fire. Okay, Verse 17. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster, and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning. Okay? Saying, what city is like unto this great city? Okay? And they cast dust on their heads, and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour is she made desolate. 1 hour. Okay? Desolate. What's going to do that? A giant fire. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. So you're saying that there's going to be a separate giant fire? It's going to be us getting avenged. Okay? But with that, I believe I've proven the point. Okay? You guys are just reaching. You know? You guys are just reaching. Okay? So with that, till next time, shalom.